right, let's go across now to someone who knows the workings of the Tata Group very well, has known Ratan Tata very well and closely. Suhel Seth, founder and managing partner at Counselage India, is with us now. Suhel, thank you for taking out the time and speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. And, it's a bit of a poignant conversation because till 24 hours ago, we were all talking about a loss which, in a way, so many people felt personally, even if they didn't know Mr. Ratan Tata, but everyone felt like they lost something. And today we're talking about what next, and I suppose such is life. But give us a sense, is this something that was always on the cards? Because it's been done very smoothly, without any fuss, in a very short period of time.
So, as you said, and you alluded to the church and the state, which, by the way, I'm glad you did. It's a long forgotten analogy. This was very clear, and it was also equally clear to everyone, excuse me, that the transition would be smooth, it would be respectful, and it would be dignified. Much like Ratan Tata led his life, much like, I can tell you, I've known Noel for years, and there is no one better than Noel Tata to take over from those gigantic shoes for three reasons. One is he understands the workings of the Tata Group because he's worked in the Tata Group for ages, unlike any of the other trustees who are there today. Melli Mistry, to my mind, is the only other person who has been close to Ratan Tata and who has seen the group evolve. Noel Tata, to my mind, taking over ensures two things, as your colleague was also saying. See, Tata Sons has been led formidably by N. Chandrasekaran. And for everyone should know that Ratan Tata was relieved when N. Chandrasekaran took over as chairman Tata Sons, and his relief was vindicated and continues to be vindicated in the performance of Tata Sons. That separation was needed and was made in 2022. And today, you've seen it's smooth, it's dignified, and it's swift. Because the trusts are what the business of Tatas was all about. The founders created this enterprise only with a view of giving back to society for the greater good, as was often said. When Jamshedji Nasirwanji Tata began, then Dorab Tata took over, it was very clear that they were in the business of serving humanity, of serving society. And therefore, I'm delighted. And, I just sent Noel a message. Then I spoke to him. I said, the beauty is that Ratan Tata will be smiling from the heavens because you'll have done exactly what he would have wanted you to do. You have done it with grace. You have done it with a sense of continuity and an even greater commitment to purpose. What better a way could there have been? There was
Suhel, you of course knew and did the last very detailed interview with Ratan Tata as well. Is this something that he always had in mind, that Noel would take over this role?
So let me tell you one thing about Mr. Tata. I never ever discussed it with him, but I knew it was coming the day Noel was appointed as trustee on the two major trusts. And let me also say, the children, whether it is Neville or Leah or Maya, they are an imprint of the Tata family and the Tata way of life. So when even the kids got on, in my heart, I knew, and after Noel and the kids got on, I did tell Mr. Tata, I said, it's such a great thing that there will be continuity, that there'll be people who'll be happy. Remember, all said and done, Tabanna, I'm delighted that there's a Parsi at the head. I'm totally delighted. I'm not, communal or a discriminator. But I think it's a good thing. Because even in Noel, you have decency. You have grace. Noel has been all his life he's been low-key. And all the people who said, but Noel is running this company. Today, see where Zudio is.
Oh, yes.
See where Trent is. See where Tata Retail is. It says a lot about character when you succeed and embrace success with grace, with dignity, and with some quietude. And that, to my mind, I'm delighted. On the one hand, I'm deeply sad about what happened and how we've lost, to my mind, a giant of a man. And on the other hand, I'm delighted because I know he too will be wherever he is, and he'll heave a sigh of relief. And I'm sure even Chandra, who, as I said, has done a formidable job of leading Tata Sons, he too will be happy. Because what would Chandra want? He would want the dividend that Tata Sons goes to a trust which is headed by a human being who will ensure the benefits are provided in multifarious ways to society at large.
Sohel, Sajid here. Do you think Noel will be able to push the philanthropy much more aggressively across to the society? Mr. Tata has created many institutions over the last 2 decades. Do you see Noel also, going that part and creating newer, institutions for the society?
Absolutely. And, I wouldn't use the word aggressive because that is not part of the lexicon in the Tata way of life.
Yeah.
But he will do it. Please remember, when Noel started out, everyone doubted, oh, will retail do this? He's done it. He's done it with aplomb. He's taken the footprint globally. Also remember that with Tata International, he was already the global face of the House of Tata way before. You know, the fact that he's vice chairman Tata Steel, he's on the board of Titan, means that he's intricately even involved with the running of some of the operating companies of Tata Sons. So I don't think the word is aggressive. What had happened was, and Sajid, this is an important message for your viewers also to know, that at one point in time, Tata Trust had begun to do a lot of things. And what Mr. Tata did was he assimilated all of that. He then made it pretty coordinated, driven through verticals. And those are continuing to do work. And they're doing amazing work. For instance, Noel is as committed to cancer centers as Mr. Tata was, as Ratan was. So I see absolutely not even a blip in the manner that this whole thing has happened. And I can tell you it's good for the House of Tata.
Yeah.
It's even better for our country.
Just on that part, Noel Tata's commitment to some of the same causes that the Tata Trust has taken forward, and personally Ratan Tata was committed to, so the Cancer Trust. But what are his own sort of very near and dear issues? So, for example, Mr. Ratan Tata, very passionate about animal rights and has worked towards things like that. Is there something, to your knowledge, that Noel would want to focus on in the philanthropic scale, while of course continuing all the good work that's taking place?
I think Noel, if you know Noel as I do, Noel is a very, very strategic human being. He is going to be as committed to the small animals hospital and to animal welfare as Ratan Tata was. To expect a carbon copy would be unfair on both Mr. Tata and on Noel. A. B. Please remember that Noel was part of the trust when many of these decisions that you are talking about came to fruition. So I don't see any departure. I can only tell you one thing, Tamanna, that with Noel there, with Melli there, Noel being the half-brother, being a Tata, Melli being the person who was the closest confidant of Ratan Tata, I see continuity. I see the same level of commitment rather than the word aggression. And I see the same level and exactitude in terms of purpose.
In terms of what the relationship was, and I know it's sounding a little intrusive, Suhel, but believe me, this is such a private family and people just want to know, which is why I'm asking, what was the kind of relationship equation between Ratan Tata and Noel Tata? Did they work together often? How would it work going, how was it?
It was good. I mean, there are people who will cast aspersions on everyone. I mean, even your family, my family. Oh, do you talk to your brother? When was the last time you had dinner with him? All that kind of nonsense. But they were together. Yeah. And let me tell you, Ratan was deeply, deeply, deeply fond of Noel's children as well. Whether it was Leah or Maya or Neville. Neville, he took to Neville like you can't imagine. Sometimes I used to joke. In fact, at times I would joke to Noel that, what if R&T skips a generation? Just jokingly.
Because that was the buzz. It's funny you say that, Suhel, but that was the buzz.
It's utter rubbish. Let me tell you, Ratan Tata loved Noel deeply. Did he have some issues? He may have. He never shared them with. So anyone who tells you, oh, Mr. Tata told me that he had this issue or that issue is lying. Because Mr. Tata wasn't that kind of person. He wasn't a gossip producer. He wasn't the kind of person who'd say, oh, but I don't agree with him, blah, blah, blah. Let's not forget, and this I don't know if you remember, after October 24, 2016, when Cyrus was asked to resign, he didn't, then he was thrown out.
Yeah.
There were EGMs held in all the operating companies. There was also an EGM held for Tata Sons. And guess who spoke in the most vociferously organized, committed manner? Noel Tata. Noel Tata spoke against the value desecration and the value degradation that had happened at the house of Tata by his own brother-in-law. Give the man some credit. Noel Tata could have easily just kept quiet. But that's why I'm telling you the same seeds of a principled approach, of firmness, of courage are in Noel as they were in Ratan.
And what about the working relationship between Noel Tata and N. Chandra? Of course, now completely, they already work together, but now in this capacity.
Again, excellent. I was there yesterday at NCPA. You should have seen the way Chandra and Noel were. You know, I'm from theatre. I've done 167 plays, Tamanna. I know a thing or two about body language. You can immediately make out ki body language kaisi hai. Always close. Please remember, Chandra is, and you know this, you run a business chat. Chandra is a formidable professional. And he also is in the same grain of decency and dignity. These are not people, you know, who are tapodis or, you know, lawa. They're not like riffraff. These are decent people, yeah. They know how to behave. They have grace. They have dignity. Also, please understand, Noel was already on the trusts. Chandra has been Chairman Tata Sons since February 2017. They have an excellent relationship. My advice to all these people who fill your ears and the ears of a million other people is, rather than fill ears, why don't you have them cleaned? Because we always hear the wrong things. And let me tell you, this is a great relationship. It will be a great partnership.
Of course.
And Sajid and Tamanna on October 11, 2025, do a one-year anniversary show on Noel Tata's first year at Tata Trust, and we'll be still saying the same things. We will be still talking about purpose. We'll talk about integrity. We'll talk about commitment. We'll talk about the greater good. And we'll talk about giving back in great measure.
I hope we will be able to convince him to come on camera and talk about this.
That is your problem. I'm not your guest relations executive yet.
No, I was going to invite you back a year from now, but
if I'm alive, I will be there.
Oh God, willing, of course you will be. But thank you so much, Suhel. Always a pleasure to chat. Thank you for taking out the time and speaking with us.
Thank you so much. Lovely Sajid, lovely Tamanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, today is a very, very happy day on the back of an extremely sad day. But then, after every dark night, there's a springing dawn.